Yes, so this is Thomas together with a bunch of people from AgileVentures. It's lovely to be here this evening, and I thought I could give a quick, well, failed to go live. What? What the? No, it says live. I don't understand this really. Brian, it says it failed to go live. Why is that?
Oh,
Have
it
you
looks
ever?
like you're live to me. I don't know.
It sure looks like live, right?
Yeah, it definitely looks like live. I'd say
Okay.
ignore it.
Yeah, I hate when these things happen. Uh, anyway, so if somebody could just check this link, whether this works on YouTube. Anyway, I just go on with my stuff. Yes, so I was thinking I could give a quick presentation of the website one project and focus a little bit on the aspect of working remotely, both in terms, in the context of this project, but also perhaps give a few remarks about working remotely in real life, because I do that every day. I work in Sweden, but I work for a British company, so I never get to meet my coworkers apart from in this way over Hangouts. So feel free to interrupt me or save your questions for a Q&A afterwards, perhaps, if you feel more confident with that. But I don't mind being interrupted, actually. So let's have a good discussion. And yeah, I'm just going to share my screen. So I have this presentation that I've done for the website one project. I thought I could use that. Because I like using my own presentations, because I'm proud of them. No, okay, but here it is. So anyway, so Website One project, I'm the project leader for that, and Brian here is my wingman, my technical leader, and without him, this project wouldn't work, basically, because he's doing all the hard work, one could say. But let me just talk a little bit about AgileVentures first, and you all know what AgileVentures is, but just to make a quick recap, perhaps. We are a non-profit organization funded by Sam Joseph, Professor Sam Joseph, and it's incorporated in England, and we see ourselves as a place for where we see ourselves as a place where projects can start and grow and being developed and live their own lives. And we see ourselves like an umbrella under which a lot of people can gather and a lot of good ideas can flourish. And we try to be an incubator for social innovations and a place for learning, and where projects grow and people grow side by side simultaneously. We deal with open source projects and free software. Very important for us, very important for me personally. I'm a great fan of open source. I believe that ideas and knowledge should be shared with as many people as possible. I believe that education is the power is the key to our success as a society, and I think that everybody should be given a chance to grow and learn from other people's previous experiences, and that's where the open source idea comes in. I think it's a great thing that if somebody develops something, somebody innovates something, if we can share that experience and somebody can build upon that further, that's a great thing. AgileVentures as a community has members from across the world. I think the last time we counted, we were closing into 90 different nations where there are people that have joined our community, and we pride ourselves with being a community where people with various levels of competence and experience in software development can find a good place and a good environment for themselves to learn. So we have total newbies, we have young students, we have more experienced people, and we all coexist and we all learn from each other in different degrees. So I think it's a great experience. And I'm very fortunate and privileged to be taking care of this project that is codenamed Website One. And that is the application that runs the main website for AgileVentures. So this is the site that everybody comes to when they join AgileVentures and when they do certain stuff, find documentation and information, and etc. etc. So we are trying to build a place for online collaboration because, as I said, we have members in different parts of the world, and we need a place. We felt that we needed a place where we can meet and share information and just have basically a meeting space in the digital world, kind of. So this is the main idea with this application. So we try to build different features that brings people together and help in collaboration on projects where we do our work coding wise, or talking about new features, etc., etc., etc. And also, since, as I said before, we're all about learning, we try to do as much as we can to develop this site to be a place for learning, where we can share our experiences and hopefully continue to grow together. So we've chosen Agile as a method for software development, and we use a modified version of Scrum, and this is what I would like to talk to you mostly about this modifications we've done to Scrum and how we apply those methods in this project. And we also use a lot of technology in order to make it possible for us to develop good software. And so if I try to put this as easy as possible, what we do, we plan and discuss different features. We plan what to do next, and in what order things need to be done. Then we actually do it, and then we deploy that software to our servers. And for that, we use different tools. Pivotal Tracker is a project management tool. You've all used it before, so you know what it is. GitHub is, of course, the main platform for sharing code. So we use that extensively. We have Travis CI, a tool that helps us to run our automated tests before we merge any code in, but it also helps us with deployment to our servers. And we use Heroku. That is a platform as a service provider that we use. So these four tools are the main components in our tool set. Travis is actually on its way out. We're shifting to another tool called Semaphore, but it's basically the same thing. It's just a more effective tool. And you all know about the big ideas of agile software development, the methods, but what we've learned over the last year since we started this project is that there are some things that work good in a distributed environment like ours, and also in this open source aspect that everybody here are doing stuff voluntarily, and sometimes they have a lot of time to devote to this project. Sometimes they have less motivation and less time to spend on open source projects like this one. So we have noticed that certain things that are integrated part of Scrum doesn't really work in this project. So we haven't excluded them, but we don't take everything as we're not as rigorous as we were in the beginning when we started this project. For instance, we don't do sprint retrospectives and sprint planning as a event that we are rigorously sticking with all the time, but we rather do weekly developer meetings when we continuously assess and evaluate what has been working out for us and what we need to improve. So that's we differ a little bit in that respect from the traditional Scrum model. And also when we estimate stories and when we kind of when we ask people to commit themselves to developing a feature or a story, we also take it. We also take into consideration that even a one-point story could that usually in a real-life enterprise project could potentially just take a few hours to develop. In our case, could mean that we're gonna have to wait for it to be shipped for a week or two sometimes, depending on who's doing that and of course the level of competence, but also the level of commitment and availability in terms of the time and how they work and or go to school, etc., etc. So we are not as efficient as a real-life enterprise project team, but we try to do that. But we also have to take into consideration a lot of variables when we plan our deployments and etc. And things like that. So it's rather tough sometimes. In terms of but what I would, having said all that, I would say that this project is run by me and Brian as close to a real-life enterprise project as we can do it in this environment. So we know that a lot of our members have gained a lot of good experiences and good knowledge, not only in programming but in the way projects are run. From being a part of this project, so I'm very happy about that. And we also do a lot of pair programming, of course, and I've spoken to all of you guys about pair programming before, but just to do a quick overview of that, we believe that pair programming leads to us producing better and more robust code, and also is a guarantee that this learning experience that I keep referring to is actually taking place when two people or three people are doing pair programming together. The knowledge or skills transfer or the mutual exchange of experiences is taking place, and people tend to try their best and learn from each other and do stuff together and solve problems together in a much more efficient way than they would do if they were coding on their own. And when we do pair programming, and this is a big difference from on-location pair programming, is that we use Google Hangouts as we do now, and we are often we're often 3 or 4 people in a pair programming session, exchanging code with each other using GitHub, and we try to involve as many people as possible in the stories that we work on at this particular moment. And this is also a difference from on-location team, because when you sit on location, usually you share one computer when you do pair programming, but you have also a bit better possibilities to talk to each other. You can go and grab a coffee together, you can talk in the corridor, you can do stuff a little bit in an informal and social way. When we do our development, we need to set up a session. We have to be in the same place and time. We have to be available in the same time to actually get together. But when we do that, then we're usually focused on just solving a problem and working at that particular story. So we don't do so much small talk or social talk. That often is very important. Sometimes it keeps you out of focus, but being able to socialize with each other is sometimes a good thing in order to build a good team and be productive. So on one hand, we're staying focused on the task at hand, but on the other hand, we lose some of this social interaction that could be potentially very valuable for us. So there are ups and downs with this method. But overall, it's very important and a good thing for us in order to push this project forward. And well, this slide is basically just a way for to show that all of you guys that are working in are members of AgileVentures are in a way our client, because what we're trying to do is to build a platform that helps you become better programmers and become better software developers. So only by using this application you are already contributing to its development. And a lot of you guys are already involved in this project, so suggesting new features, reporting bugs, writing code, etc., is a way to contribute to making this platform a better application. But having said that, there's another way of you to contribute to making AgileVentures a better community. And once a week we try to have those AgileVentures community meetings that are not so much focused on technology, but rather on the interpersonal interactions and the way we do things in AgileVentures. So that is usually on Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken. And so be on the lookout for those meetings, and please join us in those hangouts and discuss community aspects. If you find time to do that, that would be great, actually. So just to finish this off with a few comments about remote work, and I do remote work all the time, as I mentioned before. I think that what I've gained most by being involved in AgileVentures is the ability to work with different people with different levels of experience and knowledge. You know, some of them are far more better programmers than I am. Some others are new members of in AgileVentures and new to the Ruby and Rails communities. So I could be the leader, you know, taking the lead on certain stories, and I've had the privilege to teach some of new members new stuff that I've learned from other members. So when I started to work in the company where I work right now, a lot of stuff that I took for granted in this community that I've learned here in AgileVentures weren't in place at my new employer. And so I kind of proposed certain things like daily stand-ups, daily scrums, and retrospective meetings, and so we were able to implement those methods and those techniques into our workflow. And I was very grateful that Sam and other members were very rigorous about certain things during my initial period here in AgileVentures, and sometimes I hated them for it. But now, in retrospective, I think it was a great thing that we held a certain level of certain degree of standards that we keep in our projects, and that has given me an enormous upside and an enormous edge in my professional work, and I'm very glad for that. So I think that for you guys that are students right now, if you stick to working with our projects and just follow our ways of doing things, I think that could have a good impact for you in the future. And yeah, that would be everything from me for now. Brian, do you want to add something to my talk?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Unless there's any questions.
Wait, go ahead. Hi, I'm looking on the website one. I'm almost finishing writing the spec test for the future newsletter, and almost finishing this choice. I want to know what next I should do. Choose or picking up another course or some stuff like this.
Cool. First of all, absolutely, thank you very much for taking time to work on Website 1 stories. It's wonderful. What we would like you to do, whenever you feel like you're being done with this task that you work on right now, submit a pull request, and then Brian and I will go over that, and of course your peers are welcome to do a peer review of your pull request, and that will most likely lead to you know, you having to make some at least small changes to your code. Brian, you usually have at least some comments on most pull requests, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty thorough in my code reviews, so expect some comments.
Yes. So I would say make a pull request and wait for any of us or to make comments, and you know, and then do some updates to that code. And in the meantime, of course, browse through the pivotal tracker stories and see if there's anything that you're interested in, and we just basically pick it up from there. You just talk to us, and if you can, I don't know how time zones are working, but we have a dev meeting tomorrow at what is it, 1900 UTC, right, Brian?
Yes.
Yes. Quarter past 7 p.m. UTC. I believe that's fairly early in the morning for you, most of you guys. Rose, is that so?
I'm trying to think. If it's 7 o'clock UTC, that should be 7 at night.
No, you're
7 at night for us.
7 at night for you. So that
Yeah,
would
7
make it 2 in the
p.m.
afternoon for us.
yeah. Then you could make it, right?
I can
Oh,
certainly
it
make
depends.
it. I don't know if the other students have class, but I'll ask those who don't have class to try to attend.
Yeah. So the dev meetings, we have the dev meetings weekly, and you know, if you can attend, that's great. If you can't, you can't. So that's we just, you know, adjust to that basically. So if you can join this meeting, we can pick up a story for you. Otherwise, we just talk over Slack and try to hook you up with something. All right?
Okay. Okay. Does anyone need any discussion about making the pull request? Are you all set with that?
So
Shall we talk? We can talk about pull requests for a moment, actually, because we have a informal standard on that. It's fairly well documented on website 1 how to do pull request. But Brian, don't you think it could be a good thing to go over that briefly?
Yeah, so we just have kind of like a standard format for pull request. What we normally like to do is when you make a pull request, try and at least add the link to the pivotal tracker story that you were working on, so that we can so that we know immediately what story this is for. For example, this is the latest pull request that I've been looking at by Jeff.
You want to share your screen, or should I?
Oh, I sent the link. Oh, yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, here we have a good example. Yes. So basically, just you know, you give the pull request a name, of course, but this is very important for us. This description of the pull request. So what we try to do is to ask our developers to describe as thoroughly they can what has been done, and also include the links to the pivotal tracker stories. And this particular one had 3 stories on it. Why was that, Brian?
They're all related because they're all bugs, I believe.
Okay.
Most of them are related to the GitHub commit count. They have one like root cause. So.
Okay. And so what happens after that is that, you know, Jeff made 3 commits to this in this pull request, and there's only 2 changes, 2 files changed in this pull request. So it's a very small one. However, Brian did a pull request, so he had some questions to Jeff, and they communicated about these questions, and there was quite a lot of questions here, Brian, for a 2-file pull request.
Yeah, so you guys know what you should expect.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's
a good thing. Yeah.
It's a good. just keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. And so after a while, I guess you merge this in, right?
I will, yeah, once
Oh,
he
you
makes
will.
those updates.
So basically, just to, it's nothing very. Hold on a second. What is this? Yes, it's nothing special. The only thing we want is that there is a description what has been going on, and that there is a link to the pivotal tracker story. Because what we then do is we update when we merge this pull request in. We also update the pivotal tracker instance, so they are cross-referenced, kind of. They reflect each other. We have a link to that pull request in pivotal tracker, and we have a link to that pivotal tracker on the pull request. It's very important for us, so we can track that afterwards. Okay, that was it about pull request. But it's also, yeah, it's we have this document on website 1 about how to do pull requests, and that's under project workflow documents.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not that complicated. That was pretty much it. Just have a sensible description and a title, and link your pivotal story that you've worked on.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm just gonna paste the link so you guys can have a. Yeah, there's also a video here. You can watch it offline. This is how it's symbolized how Brian does code review, basically.
Okay.
I'm not gonna show it to you now. You can watch it some other time. It's one of our German members. He thought that Brian is a Nazi. Anyway, really, watch it offline later. Yeah. So yes. Any other questions?
Was there going to be a discussion about the bike share program? I think that
Yes.
several people were interested in that. Now, I also have a couple of questions, but I'd like to ask them at the very end because people may need to go soon. But I don't know, should I give it over to Kyle?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Kyle?
All right. So yeah, we can talk about bike share stuff if you guys want to. Are there any like outstanding questions, I guess, about bike share?
I know that from our side, there was some people, me included, that were interested in joining the project more actively. So, what's your take on?
For the benefit of those who weren't around when the bike share project was mentioned, in fact, I don't know anything about it. Do you mind just giving me a quick overview of what the project's about?
Sure. So the bike share project is a local thing here at Binghamton University. We have a club on campus that lends bikes to people, and so we can. So we've been doing it with a pen and paper system so far, where you can go up to a desk and sign out a bike with a key, and you come back like 4 hours later and give the key back. And pretty much what this program is willing to do, or is looking to do, is to take that and then convert it into a completely electronic system that avoids the use of keys.
Right.
And
That sounds
yeah.
interesting.
But so is there some hardware aspects involved in this? You want to?
Yes. So my team is building the software for it, and then there's a team of engineers working locally here at Binghamton University building like an actual physical rack that you can go up and swipe your student ID at.
Cool.
Yeah, and then so we're building the database and the like user interface for that system, so that will work in conjunction with their stuff.
And the student ID, does it have a chip or is it electronic? Yeah.
RFID chips.
Okay. Cool. Wow. So and you wanted to and this the user interface is supposed. I mean, this application is going to be. You have to be able to access it from a computer or mobile devices or.
I think we settled on using tablets, and we were probably just going to take like tablets and physically mount them to the racks itself.
Yeah.
So each rack you'll have like a kiosk with a tablet in it, and you
Okay.
can go up and it'll work that way. And then eventually, I think the Bike Share Club was talking about being able to use a mobile phone to sign a bike out, so you can just walk up to the rack and punch it in on your phone, and it'll unlock a bike for you.
Okay. And in terms of administration, do you want to have a back-end interface to administrate users, to check statistics and stuff like that, or have you thought about that?
Yes. I don't know if we were going to do that in the first iteration, but we were definitely considering it for the future.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so and you are organizing a team. I remember. I think there were 7 of you right now.
Yeah, our local team has 7 people on it.
Okay. And so if other AV members were interested in working on this project, you're based in the US, so pair program. But are you willing to do remote pair programming with these people? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I'm usually awake until very late at night, so pretty much whenever is good to pair program with me, at least. And I would definitely post stuff to Slack when I'm looking to pair program with people.
All right. Okay, so yes, so my advice to you is to be as active as you possibly can on the Slack channel. I think Sam set up a Slack channel for you.
Yes,
it's called Bike Share. So, and I know that Christopher, you're here, so you were interested in having a look at this project, right?
Yeah, I was. I'm just curious how you envision working with AgileVentures. Are you going to have Scrum meetings, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, we're gonna have Scrum meetings. At least for like the next week and a half, it's gonna be really busy because all of us are going through our finals week here. So we're all busy with tests. But as soon as that's over, I'm gonna start having Scrum meetings like almost every day.
Is there a repository as of yet?
Yes. It's not all that robust, but I'll post a link in the chat window here.
Yes. So one would. I've noticed that this is your own private instance of GitHub. Yeah, and I would just suggest that we could fork this repository into the AgileVentures organizational account, and we can make you an administrator of that repo. And in terms of workflow, I would suggest that every developer works toward their own GitHub account, and that you set up a structure of different branches, and that you or some people assigned by you are the ones that are in charge of merging code into that main repository, if that makes sense to you.
Okay. Yeah. I think what you and Brian were saying before certainly helped me understand how that works a little bit better, and we'll probably try and implement something to that effect.
Yeah. So what I will do now, since I'm administrator of the AgileVentures account, I can just fork this into the AgileVentures repository, and let's see, on settings, collaborators, yes. So I can add you to a team of. Yes, well, I hook you up with admin access to this repository, okay?
All right.
I thought I could do it here. Obviously, I don't remember how to do that, but I figure it out because I'm intentional.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Cool. Yes. So, Christopher, did you have any other questions?
Yeah. Do you have any more material, like requirements documents or anything like that, that you can make public?
I have a couple of things, and they're scattered throughout like 3 different Google Drives. So maybe in like the next 24 hours, I'll try and condense them all into something and post it on AgileVentures under the project.
And could you add us to the pivotal tracker?
Yes, definitely. Do
Okay.
that right now.
What's your never mind. I can figure it out. Yeah, you could add me as well, actually, if you mind.
Okay.
And do you have a date? Is there like a launch date that you you have to hit for this?
We were thinking, well, the bike share reopens for student use in March, I believe. So we were hoping to have at least this part of it done by then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. So, right, okay.
And what sort of resources do you have on your side? I know you have a local team working on the website and some engineers, but on the design and marketing side, do you have like a brand guide that we follow, or how does this work?
As far as that kind of stuff goes, it's kind of been mostly my thing.
Yeah.
We are looking into, there's a club on campus that does marketing for us. We were going to ask them to help us. I think we've asked them in the past, and they've been kind of flaky, so we're going to see how that works. And as far as design goes, we don't really have anyone that does design yet.
Okay, that could be a good thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe if you guys can recommend anybody, that'd be nice.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually a designer in my day job, but
I was about to say that, but perhaps I didn't know if you wanted me to do that. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is a designer, but I know you told me that you want to do back-end stuff, so that's why I didn't say that. So I know.
Really, truly, my role here is as a developer, but I could certainly lend a hand in terms of user experience design.
Yeah, maybe we can work together on that, because that's something I've been looking to get into a little bit more of.
Absolutely.
He's great. He's great at that, actually. Cool. And who else? We had another guy that was interested in joining this Christian. Are you here, Christian?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I would like to join too.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, in terms of what you've been doing and stuff?
Well, I'm doing the SAS course right now from ADX. I've been working as a 3D graphics artist and doing some JavaScript, doing some interactive applications. I would like to work on the Ruby part on this project, and it's my first time here on AgileVentures in my first project. So what I want to learn is more like things how to work with a pivotal tracker and how to work in agile way, stuff like that.
Wonderful. Okay, so Kyle, Christian is already in the Slack channel, so try to get together with him. See if you can fit him into your team as well. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that definitely can be done. I have one of my team members sitting next to me right now, adding you guys all to Pivotal Tracker and stuff like that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and I'd love to grab a story or two whenever I can, if that's if you find that I can do some good. So I saw that you guys had some stories in Pivotal Tracker already, potentially on a little too high level, but we could talk about that some other day perhaps. You know, what you want to do, you want to break those stories down to fairly small stories, you know, 2-point stories or 3, but two-pointers are the best actually. But whenever you have a project planning meeting or something, just invite me and I can join in and perhaps give you some pointers.
Okay. Yeah, that'd actually be really good because all of the Pivotal Tracker stories we have right now are like straight from the requirements document and like haven't really been broken down yet.
Cool. Well, but we can work on that. Absolutely, we can work on that. I don't think I can access. Anything else, Brian? Any questions?
Nope, none for me.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess that should cover the bike share project for now. Rose, you said you had some questions.
Yeah, and some of them were brought up in the previous Scrum. But first of all, there seemed to be some problems with running coveralls, and we were wondering if there were any write-up about, other than the one on coveralls itself, of what we were supposed to be doing. We've had people have problems either running it and not seeing any output, or running it and getting coverage, and the coverage changes every time they run it. It's a little confusing.
Wow. I would need to see personally what sort of problems or errors they were getting. I've noticed that we have one problem myself, that the coverage percentage is going up and down depending on what pull request or what branch we're covering at that particular moment. So sometimes we're down in the 80s, and sometimes we're in the higher upper 90s in terms of coverage. So that's one thing. But in terms of your stories, there was on every Pivotal Tracker link there should be a Pivotal Tracker story. There should be a link to
the original coveralls coverage. But what they're trying to see is, once they do their RSpec tests, what is it now? And that's where they're running into problems.
Yes.
You know, when they try to rerun it.
Brian, they can only see that output once they've done the pull requests, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not sure if that's set up the right.
Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, so that would explain.
I think that's.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've had a number of misunderstandings over that, so I'll be sure to let everyone know that they need to do a pull request before they can see the coverage. Now, there was
at least. Rose, before you continue, the thing with those pull requests that you can make those pull requests fairly early in your development process, and then for every time you push up to your own GitHub repository, that pull request is being updated, as long as we don't merge it in, you know. So so that's a good thing. Brian, I don't see a reason why they couldn't do that.
No,
right?
they're free to do it if they want to. Just tag it with a work in progress, like WIP, so that I know, I shouldn't be messing with it yet.
Yeah, and also, so add that WIP in the title, because once you're done, you really feel that you're finished, you can edit that title and remove that work in progress tag, So, then we know that this is, mergeable,
Yeah, and then there was at least one student who I think he had done a pull request, but he was having the problem with the coverage going up and down, and he was totally bewildered by that.
Yes. Have you seen a pull request from anybody, right?
No, actually, I haven't.
Well, I don't know. Ryan had said he got it to work, and he was seeing it, so I don't know what the story is. I'll have to get more details from him. But his coverage reports were going up and down. He used coveralls though, didn't he? Or did he just use simple cov? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Apparently, because they were having trouble with coveralls, a number of students went to simple cov just to see what the coverage looked like, and it was going up and down.
Yeah.
So same sort of problem.
But that's okay. But that's rather strange. Actually.
It is very strange.
Because
are they running all the tests all the time?
I'm sorry?
Are they running all the tests and all the time whenever they generate those reports?
Well, I know, Anne, you said that sometimes when you ran the test that it would skip some?
I noticed that the first time I run the spec test, it covers like 1,400 lines of code. But then the second time I tried to run the spec test, it has like 900 lines of code. And some tests was skipped. It says this test had already been instantiated, and some warning was thrown, and the coverage for the second time went down significantly.
Wow.
So if it's skipping tests, it's not gonna be able to cover everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not sure why it's skipping tests, but that would fudge the numbers a bit.
What I did was I ran bundle exact reg spec and the first time, and then when I tried the second time, it would skip some tests.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
I would need to see that in action, actually. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My suggestion is that maybe the more important thing is to do a pull request and actually run coveralls and see if we see the same thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, one thing is the coverage reports, and another thing is us doing the manual, what we do. And basically, what we want to see, there are two things. First of all, I mean, from my perspective, I like to have as higher, as high coverage as possible. But we also want to view this as a learning experience for all of you. So do a pull request. Just we'll see what test you've written, and we give you feedback on that, and that's a very important thing. So we get that process going, and then the problems with coveralls or simple cov or what have you, we'll work that out under. During the process of the code. So I would say that the first step now for all the groups is to do a pull request with whatever code they have already. If it's only a few lines of code, that's enough. That's good. If it's a lot of specs that they've written, it's even better. But Rose, I would say that's something that you can communicate to the students now, is to
sounds great.
Do pull requests with whatever they have, and me and Brian can look into this fluctuating coverage results.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Now I had one more question. Of course, it's a personal one.
All right.
And this is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay. So this weekend, I thought that I would try to work on updating the getting started directions for website 1, since it seems that over time some things are out of date and some things are kind of in several places. So I was trying to consolidate everything and put all the directions in one place, and I figured, well, the best way to do this is actually start writing what I think I have to do, and go from scratch, bring up the environment or put it all back together. So the first thing I did, not very smart, okay, is I blew away my website 1 project. Just delete everything and start over. Sorry?
All right.
So.
Okay.
So
I'm just nodding so far. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I had already forked it to my GitHub repository, so I cloned it again, and I started going through all the steps, and I had issues with a couple of things, but then I got to Postgres, and I still can't get the authentication to work, no matter what I try, and I just can't believe it. I have tried so many things. I tried the things that were on the website, and I don't understand why suddenly it's not working. And I tried some other things when those things didn't work.
Okay. So, do you really want to take this in front of your students?
Yeah, honesty is the best policy, right?
Amen to that.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yes, ma'am. So, what
kind of authentication?
Yeah, what kind of errors are you getting?
I'm getting the typical, you can't be authenticated. Let me see. Actually, if I share my screen, I should be able to bring it up. This will take me a second. And I just can't believe it. I mean, I've got to share my screen. Hold on. All right. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So peer authentication failed for user Postgres.
Right. Peer authentication. So you're using peer.
She can go trust on.
I even did that. I did that, and it's still giving me peer authentication. This is what I don't understand.
Where? Can you show us your Postgres config file?
Yeah, hold on.
And that'll be the number from the beginning.
Okay, so if you see the commented out lines, you can see what it was originally. It was this, and then I added local all Postgres peer map equals basic. And then I commented that out, and I added local all Postgres trust. And then from some other problems that students had, my student Ryan suggested changing local all to from peer to MD5, although he didn't explain why, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hear someone in the background, but it's more like a buzzing.
Well, I don't know. I don't do Ubuntu at all myself. So.
What do you use, Thomas?
OS X and Mac OS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm usually on a Windows machine, so.
Have you restarted Postgres after you've applied these changes?
Oh yeah, every time. Let me see.
Okay.
I can. Let's see. Postgres SQL restart, and it says Postgres restarting.
But why do you have two servers?
Yeah, you have.
It just it's funny. Just as I saw it, I said, "Wait a minute, why do I have two?" Okay. Why do I? Why do I have two? I should only have the 9.3, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm always getting. Yeah, why is that?
Can you look at the config file for 9.1?
Okay, yeah. Let me. I'll look there. So probably gonna have to. It won't let me look directly at it. I have to. 1.1 main. Now, why is it coming up with 2? That's kind of odd.
You must have run the.
You might have installed one.
Okay, so when you install like 9.3, you have to remove 9.1?
Yeah.
Ah,
Sure,
okay.
I thought they would remove it themselves. Did you install binaries or something?
Yeah, I would have thought that myself. It didn't even occur to me to remove the old one. Okay, so it's still that in 9.1.
So if you change the values here and then try to connect again,
Right.
you might
Okay,
be
so
trying to use your 9.1 instance rather than 9.3.
yeah, that's kind of interesting. So I could do local all. That's right. Here.
Well, I will go with trust, actually.
Just go with trust.
Yeah.
TRUST and save. And then go back here. Thanks. And then I'll restart. Just restart. Oh, did I just pass it? Now, when I ask which version is running, I think I get 9.3. So I'm not. This is puzzling me. All right, so let's. Come on, command, you're here. There it is. I believe that's the right command. Okay.
I'll go through it. I think, yeah, you really have to
Well, this dual server thing might explain why it didn't happen the last time. Although why it's happening now, I'm mystified. It's always something, isn't it?
Yes.
That's kind of what makes it fun. Or not.
Let's wait and see what's going on here.
Right.
What are you getting?
What did it do? Oh, look, it's still your authentication failed. Maybe it doesn't like having those two.
I would say that you should remove both of them, reinstall that, and regenerate those users.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I mean. You have any ideas here, Brian?
No, I'm just looking at my own.
I have no problem with removing them and reinstalling. I'm just going to have to figure out how to do that again because I don't remember.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry to since I'm no you both.
Oh, it's late for you. It's late for you. Yeah,
so
yeah. You
thanks
need
for
to
a great meeting, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas. We appreciate such commitment.
No problem. Take it easy, Brian. I talk to you, okay?
Okay.
And Christian, take it easy, all right?
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Bye. Brian?
Yeah. So.
Are you